Hello and happy fall-y winter season. In this season of giving and good spirits, I want to talk about things that you can do as a parent to help support your teachers. And I think this is a topic that I can speak on because I am a teacher and I am a parent, and I've been on both sides of the situation. So I've come up with my top 6 items, things, ideas that you can do as a parent to help support your teachers. So let's check it out. All right, item number 1. The first thing that you can do in order to support your teachers or help your teachers is to literally thank a teacher. Like, send them an email, send a note card, something like, hey, we see what you're doing. We know this year is hard. We appreciate all the work you do. Keep up the good work. So, yeah, that doesn't take much. It's definitely something that I've been trying to be more aware of and doing for my son's teacher. My son is an amazing teacher, lover. So I want to, just like they tell teachers, like, don't wait until you have negative things to say about a student, like send positive notes home. Like, same thing with your kids' teachers. Like, don't wait until you have like a complaint to like reach out to your teachers. Reach out to your teachers and just tell them like, hey, we think you're great. Nice job. Like, it just, you'd be surprised how often teachers don't hear that. So just like that little quick whatever, if you follow your kid's teacher on social media or something, like click and like, or saying this looks awesome, or how much fun, or love to be in your class, something. Honestly, like, it doesn't have to be a lot. Every little tiny thing, it is so helpful, because even one negative thing like outweighs the other stuff so much that like your teachers need it. They need support. Okay, which actually leads me into number 2. Number 2 is to advocate for teachers, specifically to be an upstander. Like we tell our students, don't be a bystander. When you hear, somebody getting bullied, be an upstander. When you are out in public and you hear comments in public about the profession, about teachers in your community, anything you can do to help, advocate for support and be an upstander. When you hear someone say something ridiculous like, teachers have weekends off, teachers have summers off, like, that's not true. We know that's not true. And just somebody calling somebody out on their garbage, actually, that's not true. My son's teacher, I know she works on weekends because I'll get emails from her, which shouldn't happen. That's not a good sign. Yeah, don't let people bash teachers out in public. If you can stand up for them, that means so much, because teachers are they're exhausted. So especially if somebody that's not a teacher can help, stick up for us. So that'd be great. Number 3, similar to number 1, thanking a teacher, shouting at your teacher, positive reinforcement, giving them their props. But this time, do it directly to district administration, building administration, school board. Like, do you have the opportunity to speak at a school board meeting? I am sure that they would love to hear from someone who just wants to tell a positive story or how much they love their kid's teacher, instead of some of the, again, let's use the word garbage, that you see happening at so many school board meetings. To come up to talk, to just be like, hey, you know what? I just want to call your attention to, my 4th grade teacher, because she is just amazing and rad and so communicative and so supportive of all the students in her class and really gives them their attention. How great would that be? So it could be, a letter sent to a building principal. If you can send it to a superintendent or a district person, that's always great. The bonus to that is that teachers can always use those like in their files, or, if they're working on something, maybe they're going for national boards or something. Like, a lot of times that's stuff that can be added to a portfolio or a teacher evaluation that is helpful as well. So bonus, you don't even know, like, it serves other purposes as well. Item number 4, gifts. Now, gifts are not necessary. So I'm hesitant to like put this on here, but I know that not all parents can give up time and can give up a lot of energy. And they're like, you know what I can do? I can buy a $5 Starbucks gift card, or I can buy a book from the class wish list. Like that's what I can do. Financially, I can support that way. You know what? I'll take it. As a teacher, it's like I'm not looking for handouts or things like that, but if that's your mean that you can support because you don't have, I don't know, time to write a letter, or definitely don't have time to like go speak at a school board meeting or something, that still helps too. Every little bit of help is good. So if you're like, nah, I want to go the gift route. It makes me feel good. I like to give things. Ideas would include, of course, coffee all day, all the time. Do know your teacher well enough, because there are some teachers that are like, I'm not a coffee drinker, and then it sucks when they get Dunkin' Donuts gift cards because they're like, I don't know what to do with this. But personally, in general, it's probably a good idea. But yeah, get to know your kid's teacher. Amazon gift cards, office supplies, buy them like your favorite pens or pencils. Hey, I like these. We use these at home. Share them with you. Great. Post-it notes. All that's it. It's all good. Then it means they don't have to buy them with their own money. Yeah, and then anything for classroom books, classroom library, things like that, also very welcome. And then depending on how well you know your teacher, there might be other things too. So they might have an Amazon wish list. I don't know. Do some digging, find out. There's lots of stuff you can do. And then the last two items require a little bit more effort, a little bit more time. So let's talk about number 5. Can you volunteer or help out at school? Depending on COVID regulations, your building may or may not even be letting volunteers come in, but let's assume that they are. Can you give your teacher the gift of time? Can you come in and be a parent story time mystery reader or something? That would be great. Can you come in and be like, you know what, I'd like to do your bulletin board for you. I was on Pinterest. I saw this cute thing I want to do. Great. Yes. One last thing the teacher has to do. That'd be awesome. Does your school do a thing where parents come in and make photocopies? If not, can you start that program? Because making photocopies is a huge thing that teachers got to do. So if they could like slap their instructions on a Post-it and like send it to you, that or laminating. Ooh, parent volunteers. Hey, PTA, get a photocopying or a laminating program going. That would be so wonderful. Even if it's a middle school or high school, how great would that be? Because elementary teachers do often see those things. Not always, not all elementary teachers. So if you don't have it, look into it. But I think middle and high school teachers, they get overlooked a lot because you just don't get as much parent buy-in because students don't want their parents around. I get it, but yeah. Can you sign up in the library and reshelve books or do something like that? Can you go in and supervise lunch so the teachers don't have to? Can you go in and supervise recess? Could it even be like, if it is elementary, like morning or afternoon recess, is that allowed? Could it be allowed? I don't know. Let's look into it. Let's find out. All of those things gives your teacher the gift of time that if they don't have to supervise recess, they could be grading those papers that they can't get done any other time. Time is so like precious and everything, and that if you can, that would be amazing. Which leads me to number 6. Probably the most difficult to swing, but the most needed. Sign up to substitute. They're needed everywhere. Not only is it just needed and it's helpful, but I think it gives you a very unique perspective into how the school is run and what protocols are in place, or what's not in place. There are a lot of things that teachers often just aren't allowed to speak freely about, because we always have to pretend like everything's positive all the time and everything's great. Being a substitute in a building gives you a look into a lot of stuff, a lot of unique perspective. Just also like teaching in general. Like the first time you show up and you do it, you're going to be like, oh my God, how do I do this? Where's all this stuff? And it's like, that's your teacher every day, pretty much. To that extent, no, probably not. But there's a lot of that. And I think just anything you can do to kind of have empathy for that situation is great. So thank you for listening to this list. I was thinking really hard, like putting on my teacher hat, like what would I like as a teacher? What would help me? But also putting on my parent hat, like as a parent, what would be things that maybe I could do or say or swing? And honestly, it just depends on your situation and what's available to you and what resources you have. But honestly, it's all good. Like I said, even the smallest little, like, you don't need to buy Christmas gifts for your teacher. If your kid was to write a thank you note, those are my favorite things ever. Like, I saved them when students would write me like thank you notes, especially at the end of the term or something, or for a holiday. It was amazing. It was one of those, like, I'm not crying, you're crying, like, moments. Nothing meant more to me than that. So, yeah, in the spirit of giving, in the season of giving, let's show a little love for our teachers. And you got some other ideas? Your teacher want to weigh in? Please do. And I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Bye. Be sure to subscribe to the Reset EDU channel for the latest project updates and episodes. If you're interested in having a conversation or collaborating in a reset for your own classroom, be sure to fill out the form at bit.ly/ResetEDU. That is case sensitive, so type carefully. Or reach out via social media. Thank you for watching.